Despite fame, iconic roles, and talent, many of the world's favorite actors and directors have never won an Oscar, or still have. Many are nominated over the course of their careers, sometimes multiple times, and still never get the statuette. Peter O'Toole, for example, was considered one of the best actors of his generations. He was nominated multiple times and never got it. In today's video, we are going to discuss the Hollywood icons who've never won an Oscar. Richard Burton. Burton was a living example of the masculinity standards of his time. He was also a notorious alcoholic and was so famous for his intermittent relationship with Elizabeth Taylor. Burton has starred in everything from Shakespeare's adaptations to classics like Virginia Woolf's Who's Afraid, in which he starred alongside Taylor. Despite these impressive roles and many more, Burton died without an Oscar. Peter Sellers. Although the Academy rarely recognizes comedy, every once in a while a well-made comedy has a chance to win a few statuettes. Of all the comedians of classic Hollywood, one would think that one as iconic and witty as Peter Sellers would easily win at least one Oscar. But alas, the Pink Panther star never won. John Carpenter. The Academy rarely recognizes horror, although there are a few exceptions. Parasite from 2019 comes to mind, but despite being the horror legend he is, Carpenter has also brought brilliant effects and cinematography to his films. You'd think the Academy would recognize at least one of its many classic horror films for the art they were. But then again, Carpenter has yet to win an Oscar. Brian De Palma. This is more surprising than most of the entries on this list because De Palma's directing credits are so diverse and extensive. He has made crime films like The Untouchables and The Black Dahlia, subversive films like Scarface, and blockbusters like Mission Impossible. Despite that resume, however, De Palma was never nominated for his directing skills. He is now 80 years old. Wes Craven. It would appear that the Academy has little respect for the horror genre since Wes Craven, who like Carpenter is responsible for many of history's most famous horror films, never received an Oscar nomination. Craven was a master of characterizations, and both The Scream Mask and Freddy Krueger remain two of the most famous and recognizable faces in horror. He died in 2015. Alfred Hitchcock. It always surprises avid viewers when they discover that Hitchcock has never been honored by the Academy. Many of his films remain on the AFI list for the best films ever made. Vertigo, Psycho, Backyard Window, North by Northwest, and The Birds remain some of the most popular films ever made, all featuring some of the greatest actors in film history. But that still wasn't enough for Oscar voters of his time. But since his films remained so popular despite not having an award, he probably never needed an award to know he was a good director. He has been nominated 5 different times. Jamie Lee Curtis. Although he has impressive filmography, extensive family ties, and a career spanning several decades, Curtis has never had a role that has been recognized by the Academy. However, he has won a People's Choice Award and a Golden Globe, but the original Scream Queen has not yet landed an Oscar role at the time of writing. Johnny Depp. Now that he's ready to return, perhaps Depp will finally get the Academy recognitions he has long since eluded him. For several years, Depp was one of the highest paid actors and one of the highest grossing. His career took a serious setback when his ex-wife Amber Heard reported that she was physically and sexually abused by him. But since he was cleared in a successful libel suit, that could all change for him. Natalie Wood. Wood grew up in the spotlight and played of some Hollywood's most iconic roles in several classics. She was Maria in the original film versions of West Side Story, and as a child actress, she was in holiday classics like Miracle and 34th Street. Wood was nominated multiple times but never walked out of the ceremony with an award. Wood drowned near Catalina Island in the early 1980s, and the circumstances of her death remain the subject of debate and investigations to this day. Rita Hayworth. Hayworth was one of the most popular actresses of Hollywood's golden age and was one of the industry's first sex symbols. Despite a long resume of classic films, including Salome, Gilda, and Orson Welles' noir The Lady from Shanghai, Hayworth has never been honored by the Academy. With that being said, it's time to end today's video. Press the like button and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stuff. Peace out.